All right. So today we're going to have a very interesting conversation on nutrition and glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. What's all that about? Some of us know it as G6. What is G6 what? PD. G6PD. Akosia Kudidu Yadom has joined us in the studio. She's going to help us to understand what is this condition and exactly how we can use nutrition to overcome it. Good morning, Akosia.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Yourself?
I saw the G6PD and I said, biochemistry class. Yes.
Hey, Charlie, you go flow, you go.
Yeah. So, what is this? What does G6PD do, first of all, and why is a deficiency a problem?
So, thanks so much, City, for putting this out there because I posted this and the kind of feedbacks I've received because some people don't even know how many people will just want to test that. But research says that 400 million people in the world
Suffer from it.
Suffer from G6PD. And it's inherent. You inherit. It's inherited. So you can pass it on to your child. And it happens, let's say if you pick 100 men, 10 to 14 of them will have G6PD.
Okay.
And so it is very common in men, but women, we are carriers. So we can pass it on to our unborn.
To the boys.
To the unborn children. So it's very important that we all test that.
Yeah.
Now, G6PD obviously has to do with people, when the deficiency happens, these people or these individuals, the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, they don't have it like they have to have it as far as the red blood cells are concerned.
Yeah.
And so in their cases, hemolysis happens. And when it happens, it means that now the red blood cells becomes ruptured or they are destroyed. And when it happens, they are prone to anemia. So if there is constant episodes of anemia happening, it can lead to a lot of things. And if, for instance, a pregnant woman, if you have a child, you know, anemia in children is such a serious public health concern. And so I posted this and somebody commented, I was like, have you tested your voice? She was like, I know I'm a carrier, I know I have it, but I haven't done that. So it's very important that we know because we don't want to be contributing to anemia in a way that you can't do anything about it. You can't cure it, but at least you can stay off the triggers because there are foods that will trigger G6PD or the episodes you go through or make it bad. But you can have a normal life if you have G6PD, provided you are staying off certain foods. And it's heartbreaking because no matter how healthy some of the foods we've sat here to preach about will be, because of the absence or you not having the enzymes up to where they have to be, you need to stay off them. And one is fava beans. It's a no-no for somebody with G6PD deficiency.
So are there different types of G6PD?
There are. So we have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5.
I see.
So based on the labs that will be done, the interpretation will be given to you. This is something that is very serious. You need to go through laboratory processes to be able to tell. You can't look at me and say that, hey, Akosia, you're a nutritionist, you shouldn't have G6PD. It's no fault of mine. Yeah. My mom, my parents could have passed it on to me. You can't look at you. So definitely it's about time we all pay attention to it because it's not too much out there. How many even stations are preaching about some of these things? As it stands now, just city.
Okay, so you said, what are the causes? I mean, is it just genetic?
It's genetic, so it's inherited.
Okay.
It's no fault of yours. So it's either your mom, your pa passing it onto you, but definitely you can have a normal life provided that you have these informations will be releasing and then you are staying off some of the food items, which it's heartbreaking for me to tell somebody stay off soya when I know that soya is a classical example of a first-class protein for somebody who is probably a vegetarian. And some legumes, you need to stay off them. You need to stay off fava beans. For fava beans, it's a no-no because the condition is even favorism. So it means that they've named the condition, the other name for G6PD deficiency is favorism. So it means that favorism fava beans is a no-go area.
Okay. For those who don't know what fava beans are, what are fava beans?
So it's a type. So we have the legumes family,
There we have
leguminous
it, okay.
family. Okay, so we have it on our screen. This is something that is very common around. If you have G6PD,
it is a common.
It is very common. It's very cheap too.
Mm.
It's very affordable.
Okay.
So you need to stay off. This is a no-no.
Okay,
It's a
so
no-no.
so just to give us a sneak peek into this before we delve further into our foods to avoid. If you had G6PD deficiency and you took fava beans, what would be the typical effect?
Sometimes I tell mothers that nature, or clients, that nature can be very forgiving. God can decide to intervene, but hemolysis can happen. Hemolysis means that there is a rupture as far as your red blood cells are concerned. And you being a biochemist, like you being a science person, once something that has to do with your blood, your RBC or your red blood cells is tempered with, it means that automatically the quality of your blood is affected. What are you without your blood?
Yeah. Will you, so are there symptoms? So like, will the person feel something different about them, a weakness, pain? You know, what would they feel? How would they know something is going on in my body?
Obviously, our bodies respond differently. So how my body will choose to respond or react will be different. Weeks ago, I had some red patches on my back, and I tried to dig into what was happening, because there, based on my area of practice, I knew that I may have taken something I wasn't supposed to take. Kweku, as a specialist or as a professional, I did 24-hour dietary recall. I couldn't find it. I did 48, my own dietary recall. I still couldn't establish what was causing that. So you would need to know what you have, because you can be taking, even some antibiotics can trigger that. Some anti-malaria meds can also trigger that. And we find ourselves in a country where malaria is also a serious thing. That's why we have National Malaria Control Program. It means that malaria is something that is with us. And these conditions, it's really common in persons of black descent and in areas where we have malaria. So it is about time we all paid attention to it, get tested for it, know what we have, and then be able to tell. As a child, whenever we went to the hospital, I told the doctor, don't add para. And they knew me that she's coming to tell you don't add para. Because I was like, don't add para to my medication. They tried it with chloroquine. And I told my mom, don't add it to it, because I know my body, even as a child. She was like, oh, Pesa, you like that, don't add this. And what happened in the night? That was the last time my mom made anybody give me chloroquine and para. So I believe that we all as individuals, we need to take responsibilities as far as we're listening to our bodies. If you come to me at the facility, at the hospital, I'll be able to help you based on the information you give me. So listen to your body. First of all, once you are tested, if you know you have it, it is the safest. Once I know that I have G6PD deficiency, then I will know that I have to shun. There are certain things, some berries I shouldn't be taking. There are some food, some legumes, soya, fava beans, and for me, red wine. You need to also guard off. Okay, don't worry about resveratrol because of heart health. It's in chocolate. So you don't need to worry that we have to find healthier alternatives. But I will tell you to listen to your body, or first get tested and know what you have. If you don't know it too, if you take something and your body is responding in a certain way, I take beans stew. But if you give me gobe, I'll have issues. So I don't take it. Maybe it's the whole mixing or what they put, the salt, pepper, or whatever they put in, that is not working for me. We can do all these things on our own, and science may not be able to explain everything and say that this is how you are supposed to feel. We have 7 billion individuals. Come on. So you need to listen to your body.
I think it's a very important point that you're making. Listen to your body, because a lot of the times what we do is that we just follow the masses and follow the general opinions of everybody else, except what our body's telling us, you know. And then we go into this game of guessing. This morning I was having a conversation with somebody, and we're just saying that how, oh, Fredrowe, oh, is that how you're feeling? Oh, any Fredrowe, or take this. Or
you can even pass it on to me to continue.
Yeah, you know, so it's like we're very haphazard and almost too casual with the way we deal with our with our foods.
But it's a
and
serious thing,
yeah.
and we need to pay attention to
All right.
it.
So we'll delve later on in just a bit into all the different foods to avoid and why and so on and so forth. But I want to take a message from our sponsors right now. So let's take a message from our sponsors. All right, welcome back. Now, we've been talking about G6PD deficiency, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. Some people have it. It looks like it's an inherited thing, and when you have it, it can cause all kinds of problems with your blood cell formulation and sometimes even their function. And so it's important for us to watch out. When you don't have it, there are certain foods you should avoid eating. And we spoke earlier on about fava beans as one particular one, but I want to delve into it a bit further and find out what are some of the other foods. Akosia Kunedu Yadom is our guest this morning, and let's get into the conversation. Yes, so what other foods are there that we should be avoiding?
We should avoid. So they are not just foods. Speaking about the legumes.
Yes.
The legumes,
Yes.
you need to stay off tonic waters and then
Oh,
alcohol.
really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, tonic water, shrubs. There are a lot of examples when it comes to this. You like it, right?
I love tonic water.
Have you tested for G6PD?
Actually, I haven't, but I don't think I've had any.
Like I said,
You know what?
Nature can be forgiving. Once you don't know, God
right.
forgives.
No, you're right. You're right. I need to get tested. Yeah, I think it's important.
Yes, because it's very common in men as compared to women. So I believe that it's about time we all pay attention to it. You know what you have, so that you take certain steps, because it's not everything that is killing us that is the sickness, the big sicknesses or the big diseases we have out there. So there are some foods and items you need to do away with: red wine, fava beans, some berries.
Okay.
So the berry thing is quite tricky because in the foods you are supposed to eat too, you can have berries in there. So you need to make sure that maybe you are cutting down. If you're a berry person, you need to know that you could either be doing yourself some harm. So, so let me do it within some regulated levels. Okay. And then you do away with refined foods.
Okay.
Refined foods.
Okay.
So most of our fast foods, they are refined. And instead of wheat bread, you prefer to do your sugar butter bread, your white bread.
Yeah.
So you should do away with
that's
most
me.
of, that's you,
butter
yes.
Bread,
so
butter bread.
butter bread, yes. And then bread boutique person. So you need to make sure you are doing away with refined foods. Instead of the polished long grain rice, we have nice local rice around that you can have. So refined foods out, alcohol, example red wine, should be out. And then we have various examples. We have soya products, most importantly. I said it's very heartbreaking because soya products are very, very healthy as far as first-class protein, plant-based proteins are concerned, but you can't have them. Okay. And then we have all beans.
All beans should be avoided.
Yes, all beans, if you can, should be avoided.
So
I believe that your labs will also help us know the class you fall in. Obviously, if you're a first-class person, definitely as compared to a pass or attempted degree or a second lower, there are levels. So I believe that your specialist or whoever is taking care of you should be able to tell you where you fall, if you are mild, if you are severe, or you based on where you find yourself.
But if you're severe, would you not already know it because of the symptoms you'll be exhibiting?
Let me tell you, people walk into the facility and you ask yourself, so is it that this person didn't sense anything in their bodies, that something was just going wrong? Why do you think people come sometimes with diabetes and their legs are amputated? Something, you got hit, this wound is not healing, and you are just sitting down. Some will go to church and be praying, worrying God when you have to be responsible. So the question you asked, it's not, it's something you would think that you would know that something is happening, but
Yeah.
everybody can't be like
Will
Kuku.
function differently.
Everybody can't be like me.
Okay.
So depending on where you
Let's quickly
you
talk
find
about
yourself.
the foods that we need to insist on.
Okay, so you
deliberate
need to make
about.
sure you are eating whole meal or plant-based foods.
Okay.
Now, so instead
Apart
of
from beans.
apart from beans. That's G6PD breaks my heart so much because some of the things you'd want to praise
Yeah.
can't be praised. Yeah,
Okay.
beans is very healthy,
Okay.
but the condition, you don't want hemolysis to be happening because definitely blood is life. So you don't want to joke with it. So whole meal foods or plant-based foods should be the go-to. And then you need to make sure that you are eating antioxidant-rich foods.
Okay.
Tomatoes, oranges,
The colorful
the
ones.
colorful
Okay.
ones. So antioxidant-rich foods will help clear free radicals, which will tend to attack your red blood cells to cause hemolysis
Okay.
to happen.
Okay.
So that is it for the antioxidants. And then we have probiotic-rich foods. So we have a classical example, Greek yogurt is very good. So we have cheese, some cheese,
That's good.
cheddar cheese and cottage
At least
cheese.
something that I like.
Cheddar cheese, cottage cheese is an example of a classical options as far as cheese lovers are concerned. And so we have milk substitute too. You should be giving your child once a child tests for G6PD. So we have the HIPPCS formula, which has been designed specifically for persons with G6PD as far as babies are concerned. So.
Okay.
Those are the examples of foods you can have as far as you have in G6PD is concerned.
Fantastic. Thank you. How can people reach you?
Okay, so for more on this, I'm on Instagram at the Nutritionist Akosia, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia. And then you can reach me on 0243350206, 0243350206.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Akosia. We've been speaking with Akosia Konedu Adam, who is a state-registered nutritionist, and she's been helping us to understand this very complex minefield of G6PD deficiency and nutrition.